Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our online Masters of Public Policy degree and certificates information session. My name is Chloe Silva, and I am an enrollment specialist for the Online and Continuing Education Department. With me today, I have Dr. Mark Page, who is the chairperson and professor for the MPP program. On today's session agenda, we will do an introduction to online learning, an overview of the programs, admission requirements, some helpful resources, and at the end, we will do questions and discussions. So our MPP programs are completely online and in an asynchronous format. So basically what this means is at the beginning of the semester, you're going to receive your syllabus, which will outline all of your due dates for the semester. But when you're logging on to complete those assignments is completely up to you. So it's very flexible. So there's no 8 a.m. Zoom calls or anything like that. Again, you want to make sure you're submitting your assignments in on time and dedicating enough time to your schoolwork. But whether you do that in the morning or at night, very, very flexible. So it's great if you are working or have other family responsibilities to be able to log on and can complete that coursework at your own time. That being said, our online courses are still taught by the same professors that are being taught on campus. So you're getting the exact same resources, education, coursework, curriculum, everything that an on-campus student will have and has access to, you will as well. So even though you're an online student, you're not disconnected in any way. You can still communicate with your classmates, do office hours, another thing that we're offering, this is actually new this semester, is we have 24/7 tutoring. So if it's 3 in the morning or 5 a.m., before work or after you put the kids to bed, you are able to log on and get tutoring. Whether that be for essays or other coursework, you can upload your papers, get, edits on those. So that is something that we're offering, just to make, everything more flexible for you guys. That is, our main goal is to make this as easy as possible for your schedule. So in terms of course schedules, we offer courses all year long. So we have courses in the fall, spring, summer, and winter. So really, whenever you're ready to take a course, we have those available for you. So we have classes in the fall and the spring. We offer 7 and 14-week sessions. Typically for the MP program, you are going to see a lot of those 7-week courses, which is great. You can split up your semesters so you're taking 2 courses a semester, but not at the same time. So it splits it up a little bit for you. In the summer, we offer 3, 5, and 7-week sessions. And then in the winter, we typically offer 3-week sessions. That's typically for our undergraduate courses. You're not really going to see many of those for those MPP classes. Our program is designed to support the adult learner, as I mentioned, so it is very flexible and you get to design your schedule and decide how many courses each semester you would like to take. So, why graduate work in public policy? So, it focuses on policy analysis, applied research, and public management skills. It also provides preparation for advancements or employment at both the state and federal level. And it's also well suited for leadership of nonprofit organizations, non government organizations, business, trade, and labor associations as well. So our graduate programs for the MPP. So we have the Masters of Public Policy. This consists of 12 courses, which is a 36 credit program. However, we also offer graduate certificates as well. So we have 3 different pathways. It's the educational policy, the environmental policy, public management policy, and you can start with either of those 3 certificates. The advantage to starting with a certificate is it would be 4 courses, 12 credits. And if you get a B or better in all 4 of those courses, they can then be transferred into the MPP program. The advantage to this is there's a couple things. So if you do this, your GRE will be waived if you earn a 3.0 GPA on that certificate. So if you're not looking to take that GRE exam, it's great to start with a certificate. Maybe you haven't been in school for a while and you're not sure if you want to jump into a full master's program. The certificate allows you to kind of dip your toe in, see if this is something that you want to, really jump into. So there's definitely some advantages to doing the graduate certificate. It doesn't push you back in any way because again, as long as you get a B or better, those courses are just going to transfer into that MPP program. So definitely we have options for you. You can jump straight into the MPP, or if you feel more comfortable, you can start with one of those certificates and then see how you feel. You also, if you start with a certificate, you're not required to continue into the master's, but it does give you that pathway if that's something you're looking to do in the future. I'm going to pass it over to Mark Page, and he's going to go into more detail about all of our pathways.
Great. Thanks, Chloe. That was really terrific. Um, I'll get in a little bit more of the nuts and bolts of the things. As Chloe had mentioned, we have 3 certificates. Oftentimes people will take the certificate as their way into the full MPP with the concentration in their certificate area. So for example, in educational policy, graduate certificate in educational policy is what I handle, but we have others, environmental policy and public management, which I'll get to in a minute. So here's an excellent way for you to get the skills you might need if you're interested in education policy, to move in that setting, whether you're working at state, local, or potentially the federal level, or in a nonprofit. We have a number of folks that have worked in nonprofit and think tank areas, as well as state government that deal in the education policy, as well as local school districts, and things like that. So the 2 required courses, again, it's a certificate, so there are 4 courses which would transfer into the MPP. The 2 required courses are 500 and 570, and then like all of our other certificates, you have a choice for your 2 other electives to round out the 4 courses. So organizational behavior, program evaluation, law and education, public finance and education, and administrative law. So after you've completed those, if you've got a B or better, they drop right into the MPP. But before I get to that, so that's educational policy. The next slide shows us the environmental policy. So when this same model applies, 4 courses, drop in if you wanted to your MPP, if you're going to focus on that as your MPP concentration. Again, an excellent way. A lot of our graduates are working at state level government, town level government, think tanks, and things like that in the environmental policy sector. And so 2 required courses, again, 500, which you'll see is a required course for all our certificates, and POL 562, which is environmental policy. And then you have 3 electives to choose from for your 2 required electives, if that makes sense. Again, if you're interested we've got terrific faculty, as Chloe mentioned, all our faculty are full-time, tenure track, research-oriented. You're getting the same faculty that teach online, in person at UMass. There's no distinction there. So you're getting great resources in environmental policy. I'd like to say educational policy as well, and public management. But here you are. You have your 4 courses to earn the educational policy graduate certificate. Our third certificate is in the area of public management. A lot of our folks become leaders in their field in public management. They might be at the state institution level, Department of whatever, and the public management piece allows them to advance and get the skills, the formal training, and the experience to succeed in those roles. We've had town managers, we've had nonprofit leaders and thinkers that go through the public management graduate certificate. So you're getting the essential skills of what it means to be a good manager, but you're also getting, in addition, the policy piece of this as well. So the 2 required courses there are 500. Again, that's the one that's always required across the board. And then 510, which is public management itself. And then among the electives, you've got a number of options to choose from there. Environmental law, program evaluation, state and local finance, or administrative law. Again, once you complete those 4, get a B or better, that waives the GRE. And if you choose to move on to the MPP, and a great majority of our students do, those courses transfer in, and that becomes your concentration focus in the MPP, public management or environmental policy or educational policy. So that's the certificate. Those are our 3 certificates. The next piece shows us the MPP. So This is the area where you've succeeded. You got your toe wet with a certificate. You like the material. You're going to focus and get the full-on Masters of Public Policy. A great degree for those of you who want to operate in a hot topic right now, obviously, and always is really public policy. You're going to get the skills and background and foundational work to be able to succeed in the policy sphere. There are 7 required courses. Again, you'll see that that's 500, 530, and on the line down to 611. You may have taken, for example, 500 for your required course for your certificate. So that's going to you just kind of cross that one off as you're going through your list because you've already done it. The 3 policy area concentration courses, right? You've already taken those through by virtue of the certificate. So what that leaves really the required courses, an elective, and the internship, which I'll talk a little bit about more right now. Um, the in the elective, let me just back up. The concentration courses are going to be typically where you were in your certificate. So if you're public management, educational policy, environmental policy, those are already there and you've completed those by way of certificate. And then you have a public policy elective, which is any course in the department. So if you're educational policy, but you find environmental policy just sort of a itch you want to scratch, you could take that too, or you could take another educational policy course or whatever the case may be. The internship piece, I get a lot of questions about the internship piece. What's important to remember is that many of our students get this waived by the department. And what does the waiver mean? Well, a couple things, and there are more details on the website about this in the process. But a lot of you have come, a lot of our students are in the policy realm already. They're in an occupation that either would count as they've in their years in service and work would count as an internship, and they're able to petition to the department and say, I've done 2 years of work at this department and agency. Here are the policy components, and then you can get the internship piece waived. Now, what that means is you would just take a 1 credit course. You don't have to actually do the internship, and a great many of our students do that route. They petition for the waiver, and they have over their course of their life experience. Maybe it was a year at the Department of Environmental Policy, and then it was a year at the town of Brookline or whatever it was. And together, those things have made up for the 2 years to combine the waiver. So it's not just 2 years in one place. More details are on our website, but a lot of folks do that. That means you don't have to go get an internship. It does mean you take the 1 credit course, which is the seminar online, pretty straightforward, but it gets rid, you don't have to worry about getting an internship. On the other hand, we have many students that have also said, hey, I'd like to use the internship as a way to leverage my job expertise with a particular agency that I want to work with. So we have relationships with all sorts of groups, governmental, non-governmental, and we'll work to place you there. But in many instances, students will say, hey, I know so and so over at the Department of Education. They're going to take me under their wing. I want to use that as my internship, and because I'm angling for a job or I want a promotion in that agency, and people will leverage that, and that's a great way to take the synergy of the university and the requirements that you have there and move up and move up the ladder, if you will. So that's another way to do that. That's folks who are looking at the internship itself and saying, I'm going to complete the internship. So just to recap, right? You've got 12 courses to finish up for your full MPP. 4 of those courses have already been taken care of if you've done the certificate. It's a total of 36 credits, which may be reduced if you get an internship waiver, which I discussed could be 2 years of policy work over your lifespan, your professional lifespan. Or you can actually do the internship. It can be paid as well. If you find a paid internship, there's no prohibition on that. Some people have done that. Or they've leveraged it into a new job and said, well, this count. We work with you on that to try to make that as manageable as possible for folks, because all our students are most of them are working individuals. So that, I hope, gives a summary of the MPP itself. That's the full-on degree.
So in terms of tuition and fees, you can expect for the overall cost per credit to typically range between $694. which would bring your overall, so for the certificate, you can expect to spend about 8,328, with the full master's degree costing 24,984. Please note that these tuition and fees are based off the 2025 to 2026 academic year and are subject to change, but for the most part, this is where you can expect for those prices to fall. So, how to finance your education? The first thing we recommend you do is submit your FAFSA. It's free to apply and you can do so online. A lot of people will tell us, I'm not going to fill it out. I don't think I'm going to apply for everything for anything. You really never know. Like I said, it's free to apply. If everyone has that mindset, then there's a lot of extra money that's not being used. So it doesn't hurt to just fill that out, see what you're eligible for, and then go from there. We also offer payment plans, so you can typically do a 3 or 5 month payment plan. So if you're not looking to pay in full, you can pay monthly throughout the semester as well. We do accept veteran educational benefits, so if that's something you are looking to use, just let us know and we can get you in contact with our Veterans Affairs office. We also accept employer tuition reimbursement benefits. So same thing as financial aid, it doesn't hurt to ask. So reach out to your HR office, see if they're willing to cover any of your tuition. Worst case they're going to say is no, but you really never know if someone's willing to help you cover it. So it doesn't hurt to ask. So if you receive any of that, we can definitely accept that as well to help finance your education. Lastly, we have our corporate partnership. So if you work for South Coast Health, Mass General Brigham's Health, or Amazon, you are going to receive a 10% tuition credit. This is not something that you have to apply for. It is built into the application. So it will ask you if you work for any of these companies. If you do, you will automatically receive that 10% tuition credit. Next, let's go over some of the admissions requirements. So, in terms of admission requirements, our application is completely online. You don't have to bring anything in person. So, you can fill out that application online right on our website. This program is rolling admissions, so you could really start in the fall, spring, or summer. We don't have a specific application deadline. However, if you're looking to start in the spring 2026, I would definitely recommend starting the process just so you're not rushed towards the end and you have enough time to, get everything in, get scheduled in your classes, um, you know, just so you're not rushed and stressed towards the end. But again, you can do this in the spring, summer, or fall. Really, whenever you're ready, we got classes available for you. There is a $60 application fee. We do need your statement of purpose, which is a minimum of 300 words. A lot of people ask if we have a template for this. It's really just, your own personal goals, why you're looking to go back to school, why you want to do this program. So there's no specific template. Just talk about your own journey and why you're looking to apply for this program. We would need your resume, all official transcripts. So, in order for a transcript to be considered official, it does need to be sent directly from your previous school to us. We cannot accept any transcripts that the applicant uploads themselves. So, you will definitely need to reach out to your previous school and have them directly send us those transcripts. And then you will also need to do the GRE exam as well. This exam can be waived if you have previously earned a master's degree in another field, or if, as we mentioned previously, you have completed that certificate. So keep in touch. So our email is online at admissions.umassd.edu. Our phone number is 508-999-9202. As I mentioned previously, my name is Chloe and I am an enrollment specialist. When you start your application, you will be assigned either myself, Julie, or Tracy. We are here to help you through the entire application process. So if you have any questions, if you need help with transcripts, if you need help with anything with your application, please do not hesitate to reach out. We are here to help you throughout the entire process to make it, as simple as we can for you and get you through the application process. So again, do not hesitate to reach out. We are happy to help you. So I am now going to end the recording.